Hello everybody, my name is Connor and we are here with another Boa game. So I was really struggling to find a deck that worked with Boa. So this, or worked for me at least. I just felt like I was getting kind of stomped continually, and I wasn't sure why. And as you guys know, if you guys have been on the channel for a long time, Black Yellow Luffy is like one of my worst matchups. But this match didn't feel as terrible as a lot of the other Black Yellow Luffy matches, so I did want to kind of go over it and see, see if I can see where things went, good, where they went bad, etc., etc. This is my mulliganed hand. I was kind of hoping for the Gravity Blade, and this list was kind of like a desperation list I had. I was running 4 Gravity Blades and 4 Red Rocks, so I do have a lot of removal here. But we go ahead, tap 1, and we search with Sengoku. Always nice to have the Sengoku searcher. We are gonna bottom a Pudding and a Red Rock, which is unfortunate. Pudding is so good against Black Yellow Luffy, and I'm checking to make sure that it's not Navy. But Warlords, it's confusing to me a little bit. But I end up taking Boa. I feel like I have enough counter in hand, and I think that Boa could be useful in this match. And I go ahead and I pass turn. If there are any cuts in this video, so this video, if you guys can see, the timestamp is really long. We went to time and then some, I believe. So super long game, and if there are any weird cuts, that's just me cutting out some thinking time, So my opponent plays down Flampe. I decided this game that I was not going to swing into Luffy at all. Usually I try and swing in a little bit, at least until he got himself to 0 life. So we are just kind of taking it easy. This was about a week ago. I know you guys are surprised to hear that, so I don't exactly remember like what he's doing. He's doing a search. I think he played the he played the searching event, and he searched out the 5-cost yellow Luffy, not the Egghead Luffy, the one from the Three Brothers deck, and that's why Pudding is so good. And I think in this list I was actually running like 3 or 4 Puddings, just because I was sick of getting, having so many people have huge hands. But so he swings 6 at me, and I'm trying to decide. I take it, and I think I'm so used to playing a 4-life leader that I think on Boa I take life a little too easily, especially because I do have, a lot of 2Ks in this deck, and I'm running Gecko, which can get a lot of my 2Ks back. So I think that might be an issue. So I'm going to think about swinging, and then I decide not to, because as I said, it is Black Yellow Luffy. I don't want to do any of that. But I do tap 3, and I drop down the Doflamingo, and we are gonna sort through our top, and there it is, baby. There is the Gravity Blade, and I am running. Incredible. So I'm running Kaya's as a 2K because I saw a lot of Boa lists running Kaya. I do decide to change that back to the Mihawk. So I put that back on top basically as it was. I'm okay. I want that Gravity Blade because I know Gravity Blade will be really strong against this deck. Being able to send to bottom his, Sabos or, Aces, Luffy's, whatever. All of the brothers are about 5. It costs 5, and Gravity Blade can send things cost 6 and under. So very good. So he ends up playing the 5-cost Luffy, which is something I didn't consider, and I really should have, was that 5-cost Luffy is a really good tool for him to take his own life. So he does end up doing that, taking the Garb, drawing a card, or trashing the Garb, drawing a card, and he swings 5, and I give him the 2K Pudding. And yeah, he's just making sure that's Not. I've seen a couple lists run that pudding. I dropped it in my later version of the deck, the one I'm running now, and it's not a bad card. I definitely like it, but I think that there's better cards that can fit there, and so that's why I'm not running it anymore. But I do use it pretty well in this game. Not too much spoilers, but so I'm thinking about dropping Boa, I believe. And I'm going to swing 5, and then I'm like, no, this is Black Yellow Luffy. I don't want to. So I tap 6, and I play Boa. I freeze Luffy. I don't want him swinging into me, and I send Garp to the bottom of his deck. And then I don't get Boa effect because I have too many cards in hand, and I go ahead and pass turn. So a bit of a turn to a bit of a simple turn for me. I just think that my thought was Boa is a pretty high attacker, and I don't think, besides like 9-cost Sanji and Kaido's, like I don't feel like blue has a lot of like big top end, you know? So I thought getting her on board for the inevitable Gecko that's gonna come out, I think that would be helpful. So he plays out Flampe. He uses Luffy ability to trash his life, his second life, and then plays out Flampe to get himself to 0 life. And man, Black Yellow Luffy is so annoying. I do think I'm getting a better hang of how to beat him, especially with the new Boa list I'm running. I have not lost to a Black Yellow Luffy on the sim, but the sim is a very different beast. That's something I had to really learn the hard way. A lot of the players in my local meta are very, very good players. And not everybody on the sim is good players. There's a lot of people who are great players, but not everybody. So, my opponent attached to Don to Luffy, and he's doing the Luffy thing. He got a Sabo, and I think another Luffy, yeah, it looks like another Luffy. And so he plays out Sabo to draw 2, trash 2. And this game is literally this game, and then I did play Vegapunk after this game. And I'm not going to go over it because I was just kind of tilted after this game, spoilers. And I just was not thinking clearly. But this game especially, and the Vegapunk game, made me, say like, okay, Perfume Fluor it's a must. I should be running it. I should run at least 2. And I'll probably do a deck breakdown on the Boa list I'm running, especially if it continues to treat me well. So don't worry, he's still deciding which cards he wants to trash. And we're I think he did trash his cards. He swings, I can't even do that math. Was it 7? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I think he swung 9, so I counter out 10, and now I can get benefit from Boa ability. I can Red Rock one of his things. Probably Sabo, because that's, if I were to Red Rock, I don't think I do, but that's more annoying. I could have countered out of that hit, I did counter out. I could have blocked out of that hit. I think one of the things I do struggle with, there's a couple things I struggle with in this game, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but I definitely need to work on when to counter versus when to block. I feel like I either go too willy-nilly with the block, or, just like, I've got the counter, I'll counter out, when maybe, blocking would have been the better option there. In this case, I don't think it was the best option, because now I can benefit from Boa ability if I do decide to drop the Red Rock. But we will see. We'll see what I do. Definitely curious what I do. Sorry about the camera moving. I know it is hard when we got, we're all on these tables close together. Oh, so he searches with Garp, gets the 5-cost Egghead Luffy. Dude, his turns take forever. Jeez Louise. No, my opponent is a very, very nice guy. He's pretty new to the game, and he's improved so much. I'm so jealous at how fast he's improved. Oh, perfect. We do 7 Dawn, and we get I think our first, is that right? Our first Gravity Blades, so that's exciting. Good for us. So yeah, we just tap 7, and I'm pretty sure we just send those brothers to the bottom. Yep. We send Sabo. Yeah, both of the brothers. Good. And I'm reading it. I think I wanted to make sure. Oh, we were just trying to figure out, because it says to end in any order, and I didn't know if I got to choose or he got to choose. And I was like, well, I want you to put Sabo on the bottom. And he got to put Sabo on top, because he gets to choose Boa ability. I draw one of those Kayas, which I am not mad about. I got 4 in hand. And it's hard because his leader's 9 or 7k, I think, right now. I don't think his leader is 9k. I think he was 9k because of the Dawn, but he is 7k, which is, I can't swing 6. So I go ahead and I pass, hoping he doesn't have any way to take his life. Ooh, my camera has bounced in this game. Sorry about that, guys. I am working on figuring out how to get the perfect camera angle. Clearly this is not it because you can't see my trash, but I don't think it's as needed in this deck versus like a Nami, or eventually when I play Lucci. I will be playing Lucci. So I really should have seen this coming. The man's got half his deck in his hand. So of course he has a baby Luffy. Should have seen it coming. Did not. Although he probably would have just countered out if I swung Boa for 9. So I don't know. I feel like forcing him to counter out would still be better than just letting him leaving it there like I did. I think that might have been a better option. Let me know if you guys think I'm wrong on that. Because I have not seen, I think in this list I'm running 2 to 3 puddings. And I have not seen, I saw one, but I had to bottom deck it, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Yeah, so he's just doing his black yellow Luffy thing. I definitely, so part of the reason I replaced Kaya with Mihawk is because it is a 2K. It's not searchable like Mihawk, which is unfortunate, but it has the same effect as the Mihawk I'm running, and it's a good way to cycle cards. So I saw it in a couple other lists, and I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I definitely think I prefer the Mihawk, because it is searchable, and, you know, if I need to cycle cards, I can. It takes me a little longer, but I can. So he plays out another baby Luffy, and he, I think, pops Dofi. I don't know why he wouldn't pop Dofi here. I think he gets to pop something. So he's now, I don't even know how I think he trashes it, pops my Dofi. Let's see, he's done it twice this turn already. 9, a ridiculous amount. And he attaches the rest of his Dawn onto Garp. I give him the 2k to counter out of the Garp hit because I know I'm going to have to take this Luffy hit. So we take it. We get a Jinbei, which is cool, but, you know. And then we pick up another Kaya. So there is a world where I feel like I could play Jinbei into Law and bounce Law back to my hand. I don't know if that's a world I want to live in, but just because his hand size is so massive, I think... So I swing 2 into Garp just to get him off board. Probably should have just left him. He's not doing much. And then I think the better play, I think I'm thinking about playing... Oh, no, I think I'm going to Red Rock and Jinbei? Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what I was counting, but I Red Rock, send that Luffy to the bottom of his deck, which I like that play. I'm okay with that play. Boa ability, I draw, I get another Kaya in my hand, and I tap 4, and I play Jinbei. I think I might play into Gecko, actually, and yeah, so I play into Gecko, and I feel like I get Dofi back, as weird as that is. It's Dofi or a 2K, I'm not sure. Yeah, I take Law. Yeah, I think that's okay. Just getting a 2K back is fine, especially because he can pop. He just can pop Dofi like that. I did add in the new list. I'm really excited to talk about the new list, as you guys can probably tell. I did add a bit of a larger blocker, and it's gas. It's gas. I'm really liking the way it feels. It's weird. I think it's weird. It's a little odd. You know that sauce, that secret sauce I've been looking for, dude? I think I found it. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'm getting cocky. I think there's a world, I think, where it would have been... Oh, man, I really bumped the camera there. There's a world where I think instead of playing out Jinbei into Dofi, or into Gecko, I just swung, you know, with character Boa. Because I think he was at 9, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so swung 12k, and he would more than likely counter out, because he has, as you guys can see, he had Baby Ace in his hand, so he would want to play that. So if he had a counter, he could have countered, or would have countered. Otherwise, we could have ruined his day. I think that's, I think that's a possibility, and that's potentially what I should have done. I'm interested in what you guys are gonna say, because this, as I mentioned, this matchup is hard for me. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the recurring life, you know, like to me, he's like Enel but on steroids, you know. But he ends up hard dropping the Sabo, and man, Perfume Floor would be so good. I would just say, Sabo, we don't know him. And let's see. He's organizing his trash. There's a method to his madness, I'm sure. You know, one deck I would play from the... I would go back to Sabo. I would play Sabo again. I would also... So he swings 7. He swings in with Garp into Sengoku. I let him go. He swings 7. And I counter out. And then we get Gravity Blade out of our life. And I don't trigger it because I can just... Next turn, I can just pop Ace to the bottom. So we get the 0 cost event, which is super unfortunate, really. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm just going to Gravity Blade and send Ace and Sabo to the bottom. That was 2 Sabos that he's had. I swing 5 into Garp. Don't really think that it was worth that. Yeah. But out of the 3 brothers decks, I think I do want to revisit Sabo at some point. And then I think I want to give Ace another try. But I tap 7, I Gravity Blade the brothers again. So 2 of his Sabos are at the bottom of his deck. 1 Ace and 1 Luffy is at the bottom of his deck. So that's solid. I draw a card because of a Boa ability. And I have 3 Dawn. He's got 2 life. I'm pretty sure. So in this game, I wasn't sure if he could trigger it out. And I think he could. I think he can trigger out his life. But he gives me the 2k there. 6, 7, 8. So he must be at 7k right now. I swing the 8. Yeah, I swing 8k, and he gives me the Flampe and passes turn. that to me makes sense. Yeah, might have been his hand. He's not fanning his hand out a lot. So I know at this point in the game his hand was getting lower. I feel like he has like 4-ish in his hand right now. It's not a fat stack. So he top decks the Gecko. Is this the no? I know, or he gets the Gecko. I don't know if it was a top deck. I know he does at some point top deck a Gecko. But he gets Gecko. He plays out the brothers, the Luffy and the Sabo. So he plays Luffy and then plays Sabo. It is pretty, I think I don't want to say problem, but what makes this deck so strong is that Gecko's ability is, you play something rested, and when you play the baby rested, you just get to stand up the big boy. And I think that's why Gecko in this deck is like just an absolute menace. I mean, I do feel like Gecko is a menace in a lot of black decks, but I feel like a lot of black decks won't work well without Gecko. I know I did watch Card Kaizu's video about his ban speculations, and I do think that if Gecko was a smaller body, he wouldn't be such a problem. But that's just my 2 cents. So he Geckos into Egghead Luffy and into Sabo. So he's at a kajillion, I think is the technical term for how much power he's at. He trashes Jinbei. Kind of toxic to have Luffy KO Jinbei, if you ask me. And I have 4 in hand. He swings lead. He swings lead into Gecko and passes, and I get another 0 cost event. So it's not the worst case scenario, I don't think. But I definitely lose steam because of the 0 cost event, I feel. And I think it might be because of the Gecko, because I feel like I was doing okay keeping up with him. I think I wasn't as aggressive as I should have been, especially when he was low life. But yeah, I'm really interested in what you guys say. I mean, if you don't know, it's the whole reason I started my channel is to watch back my games and try and learn from my mistakes and get feedback on how I can improve as a player. But Boa, I swing with Boa. So 8, 9, 10. He gives me the 1k, or the 2k. So I swing, I think, another 10. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I swing another 9. So he might be. He must be at 9, yeah. So I tap 4 for the Gecko. What do I bring back? I think about Jinbei. I might do Zophie? No, because he's got that guy Luffy right there. I think I go for just a 2k. I do really like those Geckos. They're super useful. I don't remember when I got them, but I'm so glad I have them. They are very expensive now, if I remember correctly. And one of the ones I have, hate to flex on you guys, is a super pre-release. So, I have no idea where I got it. But, yeah, so my hand is kind of not great. He has a Gecko on board, which is pretty scary. And he's gonna baby Luffy, most likely. I assume popping Gecko. Why wouldn't he? My tiny Gecko. Yep, there goes my baby Gecko. Versus his big scary Gecko. So sad. He draws a card with Egghead Luffy, and he's at 2 cards. Okay, so yeah. He definitely, I feel like Luffy, when Luffy starts, doing his life exchange stuff, his hand size dwindles quickly. So of course now is probably where we're gonna get that pudding that we wanted earlier. That's my guess. So yeah, his last life is another Luffy. So I feel like I'm trying to think of how he could have a Luffy what is the likelihood that he has another Luffy in hand? I feel like he's played like 4 Luffys. So he swings Gecko, and I'm doing math. You can see I am counting. So what is Gecko? 9, 12. So he swings 12. So I zero cost event and trash Kaya. And then I think do I zero cost event again? Yeah, zero cost event and trash Law. I mean, it got me there. So, on this, I think now I'm really hoping that my draws are solid. I'm interested in what you guys know, like, because I've noticed I see about 1 Dofi per game. I know, so I don't get to sort the top, which makes me very worried to go back to Blue Dofi. I probably should, because Blue Dofi's a really strong deck. But he swings into Boa, and I have to let her go. She really wasn't MVP for so long, so it's a shame that she met Gecko and met her match there. And he passes turn, and we get the most beautiful Jinbei you've ever seen, but not super helpful at this point. I think it's tough, because I don't think that I think they're more valuable as counters in my hand. I know there are not a lot of counters, but if a smaller character swings at me, he does have 2 cards in hand, so I feel like I load everything up on leader and swing into. Yeah, I feel like I load. I'm thinking about playing Jinbei into Law. I don't really like that. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If I attach 6, I think I do. Because if I attach 6 to Boa, I'd be at 11, and he's not. Gecko's a 9,000. Yeah, he's an 8/9. So. Yeah, okay, yeah, I go 15 into Gecko. Overkill, maybe, but he's off the board. That's what I wanted. My opponent doesn't have much of a board state. I'm feeling okay here. And then I pass turn, obviously. I'm not feeling great. I have 2 life, and 3k counter in my hand, so cool. We're chilling. And let's see. He ends up hard playing Sabo. So I feel like if I had Perfume Floor, this game would have been over a while ago, you know? He drops Sabo, he draws 2, and he's gonna trash 2 as well. So we'll see what he gets. Actually, we won't see what he gets, but we'll see what he does with the rest of his turn. He's at 1 life, which is nice, because he has to have a way to take his own life, or he can't Luffy effect again, which I think he's played all of his Flampeys. I think we've seen 3, so there might be another Flampey. But yeah, he's definitely thinking about what he wants to do, how he wants to go about this. He does swing Flampey. I think he just swings 5, and I give him the Jinbei, go to 6. I don't want to take that life. Maybe I should have. I think it depends on what my life is. And we get another Jinbei, and at this point I'm like begging for a Gravity Blade or something. Or, you know, I think a 10-drop Kaido would have been pretty solid here. The one that draws cards. I know I am playing, in this deck, I'm playing the one that draws and the one that bounces. I think I dropped the one that bounces. Because I think I can see why it gets played in the Boa deck, but I think the one that draws is more useful. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I go 5 into Flampe. Just because he's swinging with these little bodies, and I don't want him to. I'm really struggling for what to do. I think the play is, I think if I Okay, yeah, so I drop Jinbei, I use Law, I bounce Law back, I draw with Law ability, or with Boa ability, and I think I tap 6 just to get Boa on board. Yeah, I tap 6 to get Boa, Sabo can't attack, and that's all my Dons, so, yeah, I don't hate that turn. I know I have some good ideas at the end here, but I think it's a lot of too little too late. We do establish the Boa, and I'm thinking next turn we got game, and then this is where he top decks the Gecko, and yeah, that sucks. I am hoping that and he has his Sabo up, so I'm hoping that I can get something with Gravity Blade. Like, if I can hit my Gravity Blade. That's the dream, you know? But we'll see, man. I think I've seen one Red Rock. No, two. Did I bottom deck? Earlier, I bottom decked a Red Rock or a Gravity Blade. I think it was a Red Rock. And we've seen 2 Gravity Blades and 1 Red Rock. So, even top decking a Red Rock to get rid of potentially the Gecko might have been a option. Assuming I top decked what I needed to, but card games, that doesn't work. That's not how they work. So, he puts the Sabo up top, he pops Sabo, gets the baby Sabo, gets to draw 2, trash 2. Yeah, super gnarly combination. That black yellow Luffy is just, it's always interesting because it doesn't play like a different, like a black deck. Like, they're not minusing my characters and blowing them up. They are just doing fuck shit, to say, you know. I don't know how else to describe it. So he swings with lead, and I take it, and it's Croc. And then we top deck a Pudding. And that's not the worst thing to top deck at this situation, because it can get us to draw a card. And I think I'm thinking about, because he has 2 Sabos on board, I think. That glare is so bad. Yeah, 2 Sabos. He has 2 Sabos, so even if I like, it's looking grim. Now, if I had Gravity Blade, it would be crazy. It would be the hypest moment of my life. So, I go ahead and tap 2. I drop Pudding. I bounce Pudding back to my hand and draw, and we get 10 cost Kaido. And at this point, I'm like, that's fucking game. Like, I can't get through those blockers. I don't think, no matter how hard I try. Not only can I not get through the blockers, I can't hit his leader. It's crazy how strong Black Yellow Luffy is. He just stays at that, you know, what is it, like, he's at like 9k right now, and it is difficult. I know I did mention, like, I don't feel like Blue has a ton of big bodies, so he counters out of that with his last good card. And I swing big with Boa, but we do have a lot in hand, so maybe he's, you know, potentially a little skittish. But him top decking, and he told me that he top decked the Gecko too, so I think almost any other card besides that Kaido would have been useful. Granted, I guess I could have, I don't know if it would have been helpful, but I could have, in theory, Puddinged again and drawn more. And that's something I did not consider until now. Now, do I think that's helpful? Probably not. He's got a very scary board, and I have 4 cards in hand and 1 life. He's got to land 2 hits. He's gonna land 2 hits. So he heals with Luffy ability just in case, and he's just figuring out how to spread out his Dawn. But yeah, having him top deck Gecko was super unfortunate. I think if he didn't top deck Gecko, he wouldn't have been able to become a 9k leader, and he would have hard played the Sabo, but potentially he'd only have one blocker to get through. So yeah, so he swings 5 here, and I'm like, I give him 2Ks because I'm at this point, I'm like, I don't even know. He swings big, I take it, and there's another Dofi. There's another Dofi. So I saw 2. So we were pretty off from getting anything we really needed, but I guess that's the nature of the game. There's my Gravity Blade. We were super off of a Gravity Blade, but that is in fact the nature of the game. Super unfortunate. I wish that my cards loved me. Unlike, I wish I could top deck good cards. One day I'll be able to. I believe in myself. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.